Hi, occupational therapy students. This is Stephanie from Pass the OT, and I'm going to show you how to get every question right with 6 simple steps. So simply fill in the blanks or write it down on your whiteboard and remember the mnemonic. Read with diligence and patience before answering. So we always want to make sure we're reading the question carefully and we don't put in words or infer anything that's not really in the question. So let's go through it slowly. An OTR is fabricating a bilateral volar resting hand splint for an 8-year-old child who has quadriplegic CP. The aim of these splints is to prevent or reduce joint deformity from developing from the moderate spasticity in the child's hands. The components of the resting hand splints include a forearm trough, a C-bar, a thumb trough, and a pan for the fingers. What should the first step be during splint fabrication and strap application? So we know we are part of the intervention process because we're working on the first steps of an intervention. And we always want to pay attention to the diagnosis or the disease. And in this question, the patient has CP quadriplegic, and we know that it's not progressive but needs consistent therapy to maintain the joint range. So we want to pay attention to the patient's problem in step 4. So what is the patient's level of performance of function, what symptoms are they experiencing, and what are their goals. So we know that the patient has moderate spasticity in the child's hands, needs bilateral volar resting hand splints to prevent joint deformity from developing. And we want to pay attention to what's in bold or in caps. And in this particular example, in step 5, it had first step. So as you can see right here, first step was all in caps. So that's probably something we want to pay attention to. So what should the first step be during splint fabrication? So now we're in step 6, which is to look at all the answer choices. And we want to make sure that the answer is addressing the patient's problem, question, or goal. So now let's get to the answer choices. So A, application of an ACE wrap to hold the forearm trough to place while the therapist works on the hand portion. B, determining the best splinting position by handling the child's extremity and feeling the amount of passive resistance. C, wearing the splint prior to engagement in activities or occupations. Or D, watching the child's facial expression and listening to vocalizations that indicate discomfort. So we know that 3 are incorrect in this particular example. A is incorrect because this would occur during splint fabrication formation. C is incorrect because this would be the final step. And D, this would occur while the therapist is handling the child and not at the beginning, as the child is expecting to demonstrate dysarthria associated with quadriplegic CP. So B is definitely the answer because determining the best splinting position by handling the child's extremity and feeling the amount of passive resistance. And this would occur when handling the joints and feeling the resistance from the child's muscles. The therapist can determine the most therapeutic position and the location of force application during splint fabrication and strap application. He should take note of the joint angles involved and where pressure is being applied to obtain that position. So I also want to let you know that as of today, Pass OT has helped over 1,500 students from more than 175 universities worldwide. And pass the OT, worldwide pass the MBCOT exam and earn their OTR and COTA licenses. And these include first-time test takers, repeat test takers with learning disabilities, test takers who speak English as a second language, test takers with severe test anxiety, test takers who have been out of school for many years, and even test takers who have failed the MBCOT exam over 8 times.